Then up next, we got some of the best, some of the blackest, some of the most like fun moments all combined in one in the history of professional wrestling. Swerve Strickland took on Shelton Benjamin, and they had a nice match. And they had like when Shelton came out with the work that they've done, they put into him going so far. Crowd's going nuts for Swerve as he comes back. This is his first match since the cage match. This feels like a big match as it's happening, or is about to happen. And it's like, yeah, they built some shit up the right way with this, with like the MVP appearance, the Shelton appearance eventually, the beatdowns, the good matches with Shelton and Leo Rush and Sammy Guevara, and then the beat. Oh, we'll get to it after, but Swerve and Shelton have a really good match, and basically he gets caught with the house call and a 450, Liger bombs, step up knee from Shelton. Like they did a bunch of like cool stuff, and this was like, I imagine like someone like Swerve like looking at like Shelton. This is like this is a generational clash here, and a lot of people recognize the moment as such. Probably extending right to those guys in the ring. And then, all of a sudden, Shelton Benjamin's kind of caught out of position, and he's in the strike zone. He's in the drop zone for the Swerve Stomp. Swerve Stomp pins him. And then all of a sudden, MVP is out here, like, holding the phone up to his ear. Like, I got to make a call. This didn't quite go according to plan. And then all of a sudden, them lights go out. And them big fucking horns start playing. And then Bobby Lashley emerges from the crack smoke.
In one of the cleanest suits you'll ever see.
Oh my God. He looked like
$5
million. Not $1 million bucks. He looked like $5 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
Came out here, both ears pierced. Out here on you boys. The glasses. The gestures in the aisle. Cranking
was that
up the
shit
crowd.
Leather?
Bro, I don't know what that shit was. It had to be leather. Purple leather suit, essentially. This nigga comes out here
like
so
a maroonish
clean.
Purple. Yeah.
Bro, this crowd's going...
Creatine Morpheus, that's hilarious.
This crowd is going insane. This crowd is losing their minds. And all I'm thinking of, wrestling pundits did not want this man in the promotion. They should be thrown in the river. Throw their opinions out.
Was it like a fear of the fit, I guess?
I don't know. All
Look,
I know
man,
is
I
that this
understand
guy's
that
over as fuck.
AEW. I understand that AEW has a prior identity or whatever else, but I think Tony Khan has shown enough people in the different forms of wrestling, he in different short forms of influence of his wrestling has had over these 5 years. And like, what he cares about in wrestling is like basically anything done well. It's a lot like the ROPW strategies. Like, you can say it's one thing, ultimately is like whatever it is it done well? And like Bobby Lashley carries himself like a star. He works hard. Like, same shit we basically said about LA Knight earlier. Right? There's a reason why we both like him. He works hard. He looks like a star. He looks like $1 million. He carries himself like a star. In the Hurt faction, in the Hurt business, Hurt Syndicate worked very well, and people really enjoyed that shit in WWE. And then it wasn't in WWE anymore, and now it's here.
This is the first time. This is the first time it ever appeared in front of audiences, and this audience went crazy.
I didn't think about that.
This audience went crazy seeing all of them together.
Wow.
Lashley gets in the ring. He goes face to face with Swerve, and my God, I could see the dollars falling like Okada's entrances. I saw this, and it was just aura for aura. This was like, yo, this is an enormous match whenever they do Swerve versus Lashley.
It's a really cool match because, like, you before even thinking about it, it's like, all right, Lashley's a free agent. What is he going to do? There's a million things he could do, but after this, and you knew from ever since Wrestle Dream, this was direction, and then you see it in a way it's paid off for how they treated how they taken care with MVP, how they taken care with Shelton to get to this point. Is like every single step of this has worked out the way you will hope it has, because they showed them to care with it, because almost everything Swerve ever has done in AEW has been very thoughtful. There's another example of it, and it goes off. And it's like, where does Swerve go after this? And it's to this, and it's like another really cool direction. Another really cool direction. Bro. So this is another, like, at the end of this, after this match, it was like, yo, they really need this kind of show. And I understand, like, Swerve's babyface, he got beat down or whatever else, but it's like, this is the start of something or whatever else. And like, these heel factions are cool that they all got. And it's like, now we have the piece in place. Like the Callis family, when Ospreay comes back, that's there and set, right? Whatever happens with MJF when he comes back with Adam Cole or whatever else, that's there and set. But that's like the number 4 thing. That's number 4 thing.
I just hope it doesn't get pushed like the number 2 thing.
No way. This Swerve and Hurt Syndicate thing.
We have to be conscious and aware of this.
BCC and Orange Cassidy / Darby or whatever else / Garcia. That's number 1 thing. Like, they have done it yet again where they have set the table of really cool, like new stables or revamped stables, and like the perfect programs for the time right now, where it's like you've done the emotional investment, emotional weight for this. Now there's pathos, there's people carry one way or the other about all this stuff. And it will BCC also include the Young Bucks stuff too that we just talked about. Like they have rallied this again after having that whole summer was so much stuff, because that's just a schedule. It feels like like post Revolution in a way, whereas like we're headed somewhere and Full Gear is going to be kick ass.
So, like, Lashley, we'll keep wrapping it up. Lashley stares down Swerve, drops him with a cheap shot, and then Benjamin and Lashley ganged up on Swerve. Geeks assembled. They attack Prince Nana. Lashley puts Swerve in a hurt lock. They attack the officials that get involved, the Geeks, the refs, and his 3 big black niggas holding everybody off, clearing them out. And bro, I saw this shit. I was like, oh shit! Like I was like, I smell the money. I smell the money. And then
and the
MVP grabs the mic, says, "Guess who's back in business?" And then they go off the air. And I was like, oh my God. And they're standing over Swerve, who's dead at this point. And it's just like, the way this is all set up, this has been rolled out so clean so far. Yep. I'm really enjoying this.
Yep. Same here. Hey, man.
I'm sorry, Swerve. I ain't helping to fight Bobby Lashley, bro. Yo.
Look. BAEW, Black Ass Elite Wrestling.
Hey, man. Conversation must be had. Some say Triple H didn't see anybody in that final segment.
Say again?
Some say Triple H had, couldn't make out anybody on screen in that final segment. This has come a long way from All Elite white people, James. So
yeah.
I was playing WWE 2K24 yesterday.
As you mentioned, like the 9:00 match was, the black tag team getting the tag belts.
Look, this is one of the blackest shows. Like,
Rich,
I didn't hear nobody talking about this being one of the most blackest shows that have ever happened. But the show where no black people were wrestling, that was.
Rich, like, I don't know if you noticed, but like my background this week wasn't exactly an accident. Yeah, man, it was this
so
was really
like
cool.
When I see this show, right? Oh, WWE 2K24.
Do you remember like when like New Day, like when New Day kicked John Cena's ass and they held the ring like in 2015?
Yeah.
It was one of those moments where, but except like obviously at a bigger level, but it was like, because at that point it was like, oh, they're actually really going to push them, and that was really cool. This was like, this is a main event like faction. They might like, or this is a top faction. They say main event faction because like there's 3 of them in AEW. Like this is a top faction AEW.
Look, Moxley could walk around with who he want, but I know who he stayed clear of. Like he ain't like Like I feel like Lashley is a motherfucker that somebody don't
Yeah.
want no smoke with.
Yeah.
But
I'm
yeah,
just saying, like they have some big time heel factions right now in AEW,
so I was,
and like it's up to the baby faces to sink or swim against that caliber of like star in talent right now. Like bro, their number 3 faction is the Callis faction. Is Callis family with Takeshita.
With wrestler for wrestler might be like one of the greatest like factions like that has ever existed.
Especially at Height for Height.
Yeah. Like
yeah, man, it's getting spooky on that hillside over there in AEW. It really is. Like Kenny Omega, we talking about like, the when you come back, like heel or face, whatever else in the programs you got, he has hella options when he comes back.
Yeah. So I was saying with the WWE 2K14 or 24 I was playing. So I'm going through it, right? I'm looking at the roster. I'm like, he's not here no more. He left. And it's like Lashley, Ricochet, MVP, like almost don't get booked. Like it was just like nigga after nigga's just not on the roster no more.
And Rich, they teased, remember 2 weeks ago, right? They teased Ricochet and Hurt Syndicate with that card, and Ricochet out here jumping out on babyface champions.
Fully possible.
That's what I'm saying.
Fully possible.
Because he's out here in different countries, like beating up babyface top champions right now.
Fully possible.
Yeah.
Write it down.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I gotta say it. If you want to watch black pro wrestlers in America, matter of fact, anywhere in the world, you might have to turn on TBS to do it. Oh,
right.
Bowens and Caster, they're on the verge of splitting too.
Right.
Like, and Caster also has a MVP business card.
Right. And we're not saying this as a like, to be, pointing the thing or whatever, to be like the AEW's up thing. It's like, nah. Just like when people were having these conversations and like WWE was doing better, you could have said, yeah, WWE's doing better. Watch them if that's something that like interests you as far as what you want to see in your pro wrestling. If you honestly feel that way, you have to say that the show to watch would be AEW right now. That might change in a year. That might change in 2 years. That might change in 18 months. That might change in 6 months. But right now, same thing. If that's what you actually care about, and that's what you were typing about at the time, the tables have turned. Same thing when we talk about with the women's wrestling.
Yep.
So yeah.
It's like you kind of got to lay in your bed. You said this is what you like, right? Unless that's not what you really meant. So
if that was just a talking point for points in the argument or whatever else,
like they can come out and say that, so at least we know what it is.
Right.
We know you were unserious.
Right. Because there are legitimate discussions to be had about both of those. They happened here on One Nation Radio. We was out here burying the AEW Women's Division since 2019. That happened.
It exists.